We're following breaking news right now out of Dayton. Dayton police can now confirming for us 9 people are dead, at least 16 others hurt after an active shooter opens fire in the Oregon district. They tell us that suspected shooter also dead this morning. That now makes the total to 10, and they're asking that everyone please avoid that area right now. I want to show you a map of the area that you have to avoid at this hour. It is East 5th Street in downtown Dayton. If you are at all familiar with the Oregon district, you're going to know exactly the area that I'm talking about. That is that area that they have roped off an entire street. It is a large crime scene, and Dayton police are actively investigating this active shooter this morning. We begin our team coverage from that scene, that very active scene, and we start with Dayton 24/7 Now's Molly Reed, who has been there now for the last several hours. Molly.
Well, Elyse, we actually
Nathan, I have been live out here all morning long in the Oregon district where 9 people were shot and killed by that gunman. I want to show you something. This is one of the bullet holes from the gunman's gun. People have been leaving flowers as mementos to the victims who were shot and killed, and even those who were injured. You can see how it actually went straight through the glass and into this building. We just got some new information that was handed to me this morning. We just spoke with Kettering Health Network to get new numbers. Grandview Hospital, 10 treated, mainly gunshot wounds to the lower extremities, 1 to the abdomen. Soin also saw 2. They were treated and released, and Kettering Hospital saw 1. So again, Grandview Medical Center saw 10. They treated 10 people, mainly gunshot wounds to the lower extremities and the abdomen. Soin treated 2, and they were released, and Kettering Hospital treated 1 person. So we are continuing to follow this very developing story. Again, we know, if you're just tuning in this morning, after 1 o'clock this morning, there was an active shooter in the 400 block of East 5th Street. Of course, that is the that is the Oregon district. We do know 1 shooter that police are aware of, multiple victims, at least 16, and it's looking like there might be even more, that number going up this morning. The shooter is dead. He is one of the 10 who are dead. 9 victims also dead. Working on IDing that suspect this morning. Police, the FBI on the scene with the Dayton police this morning as well, working with them. Police do say that they were firing a long rifle, and we do know that they're opening up the Dayton Convention Center this morning for family members and friends. There is a dedicated phone line, that number right there at the bottom of your TV screen this morning. They're asking if you have any information or if you even have questions about where your family members or friends may be. You're asked to call that number, 937-225-6217. Again, 937-225-6217. And we do have some more information that's just coming into the newsroom this morning. Kevin from Dayton sending in these photos. He says that this is the Clark County Compassion Dog going into the convention center. You can see those there. Those photos being taken from the Dayton Convention Center this morning, where the families of the victims and the friends have been gathering this morning. So they're asking that you do that. And I want to show you the scene this morning. If we could show you the video as well that we had that was just sent in to us. That video, absolutely incredible. The scene out there in the Oregon district is absolutely just insane. And this is actually live pictures that we're showing you this morning. This is from where Molly Reed is. She has been out there for several hours. She had just moved to this location. That is outside of Ned Pepper's. And all of those yellow markers that you see out there, all of those markers are actually evidence markers. That's where police have marked evidence on the scene. So you can see it is just a sea of yellow out there, which typically, when we see something like that, that typically means those are bullet shell casings. Now, I can't say that for sure. Obviously, I'm not out at the scene, but typically that is what we see when we see a shooting situation like this. And I know that we have team coverage this morning. And Dayton 24/7 Now's Danielle Maligari, she is live right now at Miami Valley Hospital. She has been reaching out to all of our hospitals this morning, trying to get more information on who is where and how many victims were hurt and who is helping those victims. So Danielle, what have you learned so far this morning?
Well, Elyse,
This this crowd is getting very large. Again, there are Trump supporters and there are people who don't want Trump here, people who are asking for sensible gun laws, and people who are holding signs that are saying do something. So as the president moves into the Miami Valley and moves to Miami Valley Hospital, we're not quite sure if he's going to make a trip or swing by the Oregon District. At this time, local traffic is still moving through. So I want to show you the traffic out here has been absolutely insane. So as of right now, we are not seeing any sort of police presence in this area. But as you all know, if you're familiar with the downtown Dayton area, Miami Valley Hospital is just minutes away. So he could very well drive by here just to drive through the area, in which case they would shut down local traffic and they would obviously be letting us know if that's the case. Now, we don't expect it. It could happen. We're not sure at this point, but if it does happen, of course, we are going to let you know. Earlier this morning, we did hear from Congressman Mike Turner. We spoke to him via phone live on the air. He had tweeted out early this morning that his daughter and a family friend were in the Oregon District when the gunfire rang out. So let's go ahead and listen in to that interview that we had this morning. How do you think we as a community, I mean, I know this might be a little early to ask, but how do we move on? How do we grieve?
Well, these are all so unexplainable evil. I mean, it's unimaginable. From the people who do these terrible acts. I think here this is an instance where I talked to the mayor this morning, where the city of Dayton was diligent. I mean, my daughter reported that as she was going into the subway connection, the police were already across the street before the shooting happened. Having police presence makes a tremendous difference, and we just really have to thank them because we're all worried about our families. They're taking care of our community.
Absolutely. And Congressman, I know that you have to head out this morning, but we want to just thank you for taking a moment to call in and letting us know how your daughter is doing. And obviously, you and her and everybody who was affected by this are in our thoughts and prayers this morning. There seems to be a disagreement that's going on right now. I'm not 100% sure what's happening, but I just kind of want to show you that this is how high tensions have been. So I don't know, Kyle, if you could get in here. I'm going to kind of use the mic over this way as well, but I just want to show you this is an example of what has been going on here in the Oregon District today.
I'll tell you the truth. If you hating somebody for the color of their skin, yes, you are racist. Because you tell somebody to send them back. Those are congresswomen. They are brave American citizens. And then you gonna say, send them back. Come on, man, they're American citizens. I stand for them.
So what is the disagreement going on? What's the disagreement going on?
He's a devil. He's a former Black Panther member. He's calling Whitey racist. He hates Trump.
Come on,
Those are the people out here because they hate Trump. That's why they're out here.
Do not lie on me.
I'm trying to keep the
Because I
peace.
stand against
I only came out because Nan Whaley, the mayor,
that's a lie.
asked for protests, and I'm trying to keep the peace.
I hate the.
Today is the 250th mass shooting in America. It's sad that it's in the city of Dayton.
And Mayor Nan Whaley, I was watching that live this morning. She did get a little emotional when talking about how this is a day that they all dread. And when she started to talk about the families who are affected by this, she got very emotional because she wants everyone to give them their space, to give them the time that they need to grieve and to truly not be in shock anymore, to truly digest exactly what happened, because we as a community are still digesting what happened.
Most certainly.
This is where the memorial is, and we just had a few families last night. 3 families of the victims came and took those home, and this morning a man in tears came over and grabbed the one that was dedicated for Derek Fudge. So we had heard that may have been his father, and so he was very emotional this morning. Things still happening out here in the Oregon District. We do now know that Ned Peppers is expected to open at normal business hours at 11 o'clock this morning. And again, Mayor Nan Whaley confirming that the president told her on Sunday that he is planning a visit here in Dayton, and we are hearing it could be as soon as sometime on Wednesday. obviously the crowd is still here in the Oregon district, but we do know that President Donald Trump is not expected to stop by here because traffic is still free flowing. And I actually just saw for myself Dayton Police Chief Richard Beal drove by in a SUV, so I'm not quite sure if he's just down here to kind of monitor things, make sure things don't get out of control, make sure people stay out of the street, because I think that's their biggest concern at this point is the protesters continue to walk in the street, and I think they're worried that someone will get hurt. And so we want to make sure that obviously that doesn't happen, and I think they're just trying to help with the crowd control at this point. But we do know that President Donald Trump is not expected to come down here into the Oregon district. So if we get any other information, I'm going to continue to walk around and try to talk to some other people here, but if we get any other information, we will let you know. But for now, we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio. But today, the focus is obviously the presidential visit. So I know that you said yesterday that you plan on welcoming him. At some point, are you going to be talking to him about what you want as far as gun laws go? I mean, what do you think you're going to say to him today?
Look, I want to get the moment to really say, like, you know, it's nice of you to come about the victims, but we need to, like, do something and have some action so there are less cities like Dayton that are in the hopper. We're the 250th city in this year to have a mass shooting. No other country has that. And it is completely preventable and stoppable. And his job as president, just like Governor DeWine did, is to take action and put some common sense gun legislation in place. This is like the majority of America agrees with this. This is not a partisan issue. This is about a safety issue. We're getting to the point with mass shootings in America like we were with the opioid epidemic, where it has affected everybody. Enough is enough.
And, you know, the Dayton community was the epicenter of the opioid epidemic. And hopefully, you know, we built change here in the community for the opioid epidemic. And hopefully maybe we could do the same when it comes to mass shootings. This is video that was sent in to us, I believe, from a former reporter of ours, Rhonda Moore. Wow. This is video in Trotwood. She just went driving around. I know it's really dark, but you can see debris laying everywhere. It's absolutely incredible. I watched this a few minutes ago. Our news director actually emailed it to everybody here. I mean, look at this. Greg, what are your thoughts on this?
My thought is there's things you can call this a once in a generation type of an event.
Back to you. As you saw, you were watching Danielle Maligari. She is live in Trotwood. That video that she posted on her Twitter page and her Facebook, I saw it myself. It is absolutely insane. It is, you can see inside somebody's apartment.
Yeah.
The whole wall is gone. It is absolute destruction out here. I think it has been described over and over again as a war zone, and I want to show you why people are describing it that way. This is why. This is a car, but I want to show you what's on the other side of this car. That's the trunk, but look at this. This is completely smashed in. The windshield gone in the back, the windows gone. You can see the glass over here, but also insulation on the ground. That insulation, let me take you for a walk with me. That insulation is coming from the Frito-Lay building, that warehouse back there, all the way back there. You can't see it right now simply because it's so dark out, but in about a half an hour or so, I'm anticipating that you will be able to see it. All of this metal that's strewn about is also from that building. And if I can have my photographer go up with me right here, there's a tree and there's another tree, insulation, metal in the trees, but that's not the dangerous part of these trees. I don't know if you can see it, but there's power lines wrapped around those trees. Thankfully, I think at this point they're not live, obviously, because DP&L has been working really hard, but the power is completely out in this side of town. And not only that, their only grocery store, Groceryland, less than a half a block away, is gone. There's nothing left of it. It's not leveled, but it is destroyed. So we're going to come back out here live here in just a little bit. And as things start to brighten up, I'm sure that we're going to be seeing a lot more, because I know houses across the street were also destroyed by that storm. We're going to do that here just shortly. But for now, reporting live in Old North Dayton, Elyse Coulter, ABC 22 News. I've been on Twitter, and a couple of our reporters have been tweeting out as as the sunrise starts to, or as the sun starts to come up this morning, the incredible images. And I know that Danielle Malagary, she is live right now in Trotwood at the Westbrook Village Apartment. She just tweeted some of these images moments ago. And Danielle, walk us through what you're seeing. We've been seeing a lot of things happening. In fact, Montgomery County Sheriff Rob Streck is asking if you don't have to go anywhere, please don't go anywhere. There's no reason to at this point. If you don't have to go to work, stay home, because it's very dangerous out there because of the scene that we're seeing in Trotwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan, folks are starting to wake up here. They're starting to come back to their homes to gather their belongings. I want to show you what is going on behind me. This is just one of the homes here along Troy Street. You can see the roof gone. Just parts of this home had the roof. And I want to take you over to a gentleman who has been here. He was here all day yesterday. This is one of his friends that lives in this home. His friend and his friend's brother were here when this happened. So what exactly did they describe to you? And where were you when you got the call that they needed your help?
Well, I was in bed listening to what was going on. And he called me when that door was being pushed open by the wind.
Oh my goodness.
At that point, the railing went into the glass, and then they ran into the hallway. No made time to make it to the basement, and that's when the roof went.
And so when you talk about the roof being gone, I looked through, I think, that front room there. I'm not sure if that's a bedroom or not. You can see through the entire thing. Is there any roof left at all?
There is ceiling left. That part of the roof is there, and then there's a part on the kitchen on the back side of the house.
So when you're waking up this morning, really when you woke up yesterday, did you know what you were walking into?
Not really. I got here at 11:30 last night, and it was this.
Yeah.
Besides my friends going, what in the heck are we going to do?
Yeah.
So supporting them and keeping them calm.
Where did they stay last night?
They're in the basement right now.
And so at this point, where do you go from here?
Get things moved so they're not ruined, and then shelter. Gonna find some shelter.
Yeah, they need a place to stay. They need to make sure that they're safe. Okay, thank you so much for talking to me this morning. We're going to continue to stay out here because, again, as yesterday was developing, this is a very developing story as well. And so we're going to continue to try to help folks if we can. Folks are coming out, they're waking up. And so as soon as we get any more information from out here in the field, we will let you know. But for now, reporting live in Old North Dayton, Elyse Coulter, ABC 22 News.